Hello everyone, welcome to Math 7. Hope all of you are good and your math classes are going on really well. Okay, so we have another problem in this video. Again, straight lines, parallel lines, transversal, angles. Okay, so we have two parallel lines PQ and RS. They are parallel to each other. It is given. We have to find out the angles X and Y. Okay, so PQ, RS parallel to each other. This is the transversal. So obviously just look out for the alternate interior angles which will be equal. Try to find out the corresponding angles, etc. Okay, so we have a triangle also here with the base on the transversal. So let's see which all angles we can find out initially based on the given information. Okay, so let's have a look at this transversal first, right? We have two angles which are adjacent to each other. One is 65 degree here, one is 30 degree here, and we know that this is a straight line. That means the entire angle has to be 180 degree, right? This is a straight line, that means the angle has to be 180 degree. So this angle has to be 180 degree, correct? Now, this angle is 65, this angle is 30 degrees, so that makes it 65 plus 30 is 95. So what will be the remaining angle within the triangle? That will be 180 minus of, because this is a straight line, it's a linear pair, so this will be 180 minus of 65 plus 30, which is 95. Now that will be 75 degree, correct? No, that will be 85 degree, right? So this will be 85. So I got this angle inside the triangle, the interior of the triangle, one of the angles has 85 degrees. Now, if you take the straight line RS, that again is a linear pair. This is a linear pair, right? So this has to be 180 degree. Now, if you sum these two angles, 30 and 85, that gives you 115 degrees. That means this angle has to be 65 degree. Correct? So we got this angle also. So we got one angle inside the triangle and we got this angle which the transversal makes with RS, right? Now, if this angle is 65, this entire angle also has to be 65. Why? Because this is a transversal, these two lines are parallel, so these two are alternate interior angles. So 25 plus y has to be equal to 65 degree. So let's write that 25 plus y and 65 are equal because they are alternate interior angles. Angles on both sides of the transversal on both the lines, right? So we get y is equal to 65 minus 25, which is 40 degree. Now, we got y, which is another angle in the triangle, which is 40 degree, right? So one angle in the triangle was 85, another we got as 40. So the sum of these two is 85 plus 40, which is 125. So x is the third angle within the triangle, and we know that x has to be 180 minus sum of the other two angles. So it is 180 minus of 85 plus 40, which is 125. So we get x is equal to 55 degree. Now let's check if it is correct or not. 85 plus 55 is 140, 140 plus 40 is 180, that's right. So again, 30 plus 85 is 115, 115 plus 65 is 180, that's correct, linear pair. 65 plus 30 is 95, 95 plus 85 is 180, correct, linear pair. So that means we have got the answer x is equal to 55 degree, which is inside the triangle, and y is equal to 40 degree, which is another angle in the triangle. Now coming to the second question, AB is a line and CD is also a line. They are parallel to each other. And we have OA and OC. OA is touching the line B and OC is cutting the line CD. And the angle AOC is given as 100 degree and the angle OAB is 120 degree, and the angle between the angle C is x. So we have to find out the value of x, right? So how do we do that? Now, in this particular problem, we have two parallel lines, but we don't have a transversal cutting the two lines AB and CD, right? So what we can do is, I will just extend this line so that it meets the line CD. So AB is the line here where we had OA touching it. I just extended OA to meet the line CD. So let's name it maybe E. Okay, let's name this point as E. Now we need to find out X. The first thing that I would write here is, if this angle is X, then this angle also is X. Why? Because they are vertically opposite angles, right? CD is the line. This is a line cutting CD. So if this angle is X, this also has to be X. They are opposite angles. Clear? Now, I just extended this line. So this is a straight line. So obviously, this angle has to be 180 degree. Why? Because it's a linear pair. It's a straight line. So this angle has to be 180 degree. And given that this angle is 100 degree, so the remaining angle has to be 180 minus of 100, which is 80 degree. So this angle COE is 80 degree, right? Now, we have this angle as 120 degree, angle OAB is 120 degree, and if I extend this line further, what will be this angle? I will write E here on top, okay, this is the point E. Now what will be this angle? CD is this line, this is line AB, so this is the transversal. AE is the transversal which cuts both the parallel lines CD and AB. That means if this angle is 120 degree, this angle also has to be 120 degree. They are corresponding angles. The angle made by the transversal with this parallel line and the angle made by the same transversal with this parallel line, they have to be equal. So this is 120 means this also is 120. And again, this is a straight line, so this has to be a linear pair. That means the remaining angle within this triangle, it has to be 180 minus 120, which is 60 degree, right? So in this particular triangle OEC, in triangle OEC, what we see is one angle is 80, one angle is 60 degree, and the third angle is X. And we know that the sum of all the angles of a triangle is 180. So we can write 80 plus 60 plus X is equal to 180 degree. Now 80 plus 60 is 140. So obviously X has to be 40 because 140 plus 40 is 180 degree, right? So X is nothing but 180 degree minus of 140 degree, that is 40 degree. And finally, in the third question, we have almost a similar figure given here, but the question is, for what value of X the line L and the line M are parallel? We are asked to find out for what value of X the two lines are parallel. Okay, so this angle is given as 50 degree, this is 120 degree, and this angle is X minus 20 degree. So for what value of X these two lines L and M are parallel? That's the question. Let's do one thing. In the previous problem I extended this line, so let's extend this line. You can do both ways, no problem, but just to make a difference, let me extend this line. Okay, so it goes something like this. So I have extended this line and it meets the line L at this point. Okay, now this angle, no, let's keep it there. This angle is 120 degree, right? So if I extend this further, then these two angles are corresponding angles because L and M are parallel. That's our assumption, right? We assume that, okay, L and M are parallel. Then we will find out what will be the value of X. So if these two are parallel, that means these two are corresponding angles. So this also has to be 120 degree, correct? and this is a straight line, so this is a linear pair. So this small angle will be 180 minus 120, which will be 60 degree, correct? Now, this is 60, this is 50, and this is a triangle. So the third angle has to be 180 minus of sum of 60 and 50. Sum of 60 and 50 is 110 degree. So this third angle has to be 180 degree minus of 110 degree, which is 70 degree, correct? So this angle in between I get as 70 degree, right? Now, if this is 70, then what will be this remaining angle? This is a straight line, correct? This is a straight line. So if this is 70, this has to be, the remaining angle has to be 180 minus 70, right? So 180 minus 70, that will be 110 degree. Okay, so this angle is 110 degree. Okay, fine. So I got this angle as 110 degree. Now, if this is 110, then what will be x minus 20? This entire angle is x minus 20, right? That means x minus 20 and 110, they add up, they sum up to form one full circle. This is one full circle, right? So this part is 110 and the remaining part of the circle, the arc, is x minus 20 degree, right? So these two added will give you 360 degrees. So that means x minus 20 plus 110 is 360. That means x plus 90 is equal to 360. So we get x is equal to 360 minus of 90, and that is 270 degree, right? So the two lines L and M will be parallel if x is equal to 270 degree. That is the answer.